13th Brown County Commission meeting to order. Commissioner Sutton, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Good morning. First item is to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Sutton, second by Kipley to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, we have Chris Weed and Pest Chemical bid opening. Morning, Chris.
Morning.
Morning, Chris.
We got three of them. No, that one's, oh, there it is.
That's just the bid notice.
Oh, gotcha, that's the notice. So we got, here's the lead over. We got one from Van Diest. It's a serious opener you got there.
That's right.
Need a license for that?
Go big or go home.
Okay.
Shall I?
I think that's got everything that we had on there. Next one is from Adapco. Well, they really sealed theirs up.
Mm-hmm.
More.
I've never been out
Yeah,
there.
pull that out. Why not? Yeah,
Pull that
cut
one
a little bit better, but yeah, she'll wrap. Haven't started this much since Christmas. Alrighty. Okay. That's a big one. Trying to see what they, okay, so looks like all they bid. Okay, so all they had on here was the mosquito chemical that we put on here for the
Bottom one there.
yep, on the bid that we had put Mosquito Master 412, they put Permacease 315, which is I believe it's a permethrin and PBO, so it's a different active, not really what we've got on our bid. Yeah, PBO and permethrin. So I guess based on that, I think I could make a recommendation that we go with Van Diest unless we can get it through the state bid through Van Diest at a less lower price. But yeah, I would just recommend we go through Van Diest and
For everything listed here?
Yeah,
Okay.
because they've got everything that's on the bid. And,
Okay. Unless the state is lower.
yeah, if it's on the state bid, we can go off of that as long as it's available through Van Diest, and we've done that in the past.
Right. I would move. Second.
We've got a motion by Piker, a second by Sutton to accept the Van Diest supply for our weed and pest control. And with the option of the state has a cheaper option, we go with them. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Chris.
Alrighty, you bet.
Have a good day.
Thanks, Chris.
Chris, are you gonna put those in a tab, or can I have those sheets? for the-
You want them, I can pack everything up and get it back to you if you want.
Yeah, can we have it by Wednesday?
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you.
Next item, Scott Mines, possible mutual aid agreement with Agtegra Technical Rescue Team. Morning, Scott.
Good morning, everybody.
Scott.
Yeah, a couple things. First of all, the mutual aid agreement, this is something that we've actually been working on for probably, well, we're going on our third year to working with this group. And last year we were we were ready to move forward, and then the great COVID hit, so everything got pushed to the back burner, so we're kicking things back off. But my office would like to move forward with possibly entering in a mutual aid agreement with the Agtegra Technical Rescue Team. This is a group of folks employed by Agtegra, certified in high angle rescue, confined space, and grain bin entrapment type of rescues and recoveries. These folks, a little background, and I apologize, I should have brought somebody from Agtegra with me, but these folks started this team many years ago on their own behalf to cover their own assets and stuff like that, and it's actually reached out to be a great community asset with all of the farming community that we live in, and the large elevators and grain legs and stuff that we have. And we feel that this would be a good partnership to get in. So with that, I'd like to just ask for permission to move forward with getting a draft copy over to the State's Attorney's Office for them to review. Make sure we got everything legal in it. Agtegra's legal team has reviewed it once already. I'd like to have our legal team review it, and then hopefully we can bring that back at a later date for an official signing and things like that. So, questions?
Would those folks get covered under our policy then, or do they have
The
their own?
mutual aid agreement that we have wrote would be under their own. Each entity would continue to, no money exchanges hands, no liability changes hands, nothing like that. It would be just come and help if you need, maybe do some training with us, things like that. And actually, I did meet with John Groen. He's the Task Force 1 team leader from the state. The state has the 4 teams, Aberdeen, Watertown, Rapid, Sioux Falls, that is specialized in confined space, technical rescue and stuff like this. This will be a nice addition for those folks if they need additional help or something like that. Or actually, Agtegra's talking about taking this to all of their areas and all of their counties eventually, if we can work something out with us to move forward, just because they've got teams located throughout the entire state, just about at different locations. So, like I said, hopefully we've got it wrote so that no money, no liability, no bad things happen to either party. So.
This keeps it simple. If there's an incident and there's a call, it's like, do we go, do we not? Are we squared up with that? You know, where's the legal ramifications for that? They've got the training, the resources, the mobility.
Exactly.
And they're available.
And they're close. You know, we may have to wait, for a team to come out of Watertown or something where we got teams right here to go.
So our mutual aid agreement would be for Brown County then, or is it a surrounding area?
No, ours would be just for Brown counties, and then we would let Agtegra worry about other counties. We talked about doing it just with the technical rescue team with the city, and we wanted to expand that to cover Brown County. That's why it's coming under my office, so that we can go county-wide with it versus just with the city team. So
Makes sense.
So like I said, if you're okay with that, then I'll get with Ross or Ernest and get the draft over there and have them start reviewing it, and unless somebody else has other questions or concerns.
So it won't take a motion until you actually get the agreement?
Correct.
Okay.
So.
Sounds good. I think that's a good deal to move forward. I mean, anytime you can get outside help and they're trained in their field.
And like I said, we started this a couple years ago. We feel that it's good enough for our community, or a good asset for our community, let's put it that way, to have on the docket. So
Good.
Okay, cool. We'll work with that. Just one other quick thing. We need to get together sometime and talk about mitigation grants. There's a new mitigation grant out there called the BRIC grant. Some of you may have heard about it. Previous mitigation grants, entities like Northern Electric cooperatives, townships, cities and stuff could apply on their own. This BRIC grant has to come through the county. So I'd like to get the state mitigation rep in here some Tuesday and explain that process to you a little better than I can. I know we got some folks that are wanting to apply for this grant, so I'm going to work on getting that in here. But just a heads up, if you got a chance to hear about the BRIC grant, take the opportunity to to educate, and because like I said, we're gonna be doing some information, so.
Burn ban, you're taking another week to leave it on?
Burn ban, the fire chiefs, I told them they'd like to keep it on for the rest of this week. I talked to the weather service early this morning, we're only about 20 to 30% green. The short grasses are coming, you know, the lawns and stuff like that. It's just the long grasses and stuff like that, we need some warm weather. You know, when it's 25 degrees outside in the morning and there's snow on my deck, ain't nothing gonna grow. So, they'd appreciate it if we could keep it on till next week for sure.
Okay.
So, okay?
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
One other side question, were you involved with the court security grant for the 2 cameras? That's in the packet. There's that state grant that we're doing the 2 cameras?
No.
Okay.
I was not, that's Judy's project.
Okay, thank you.
So, okay,
All right.
good, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Well, that takes care of the agenda items. I think we'll move into Kathy's, and get those approved, and then we'll move on to public comment.
We have minutes?
Move. Second. Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss, to approve the general meeting minutes of April 6th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claims and payroll?
Move.
Second.
Moved by Fikert, second by Kipley, to approve claims and payroll. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
There's no HR report. Fair contracts?
Move.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Fikert. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The court security grant, and I have basic information on it.
Okay, is the 59 the total, or is the 59 the 50% we want reimbursed?
That's the total. So we're looking for 50% of that 59. It sounds like there was only $10,000 statewide, so we're kind of picking a reasonable project to submit for. And it will be for replacing some old cameras and getting in some blind spots with the court security.
So Judy's budget would handle the 50% of the 59 if we're granted it?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Move it.
Second. Moved by Kipley, second by Fikert, to approve the court security grant. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claim assignments?
Move. Second. We have a motion by Sutton, second by Weiss, to approve the claim assignments. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Lease agreement for the youth camp?
Move. Second. Moved by Fikert, second by Weiss, to approve the lease agreement for the youth camp. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Lease for Dakota Slideways?
Move it.
Second. Moved by Kipley, second by Weiss, to approve the lease Dakota Sideways with the added line number 4, I believe, stating the fair week, so it's clarified. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Kathy, anything else?
That's everything that we have.
Okay, that takes care of the agenda items. I guess now we would open it up for public comment.
Dawn Shepherd.
Dawn, just let's step forward and have a chair if you would, please. That's easier for us.
Regarding the South Dump site, okay, being it was in the front page of the paper, a lot more people have contacted me. I've contacted a lot of other people. I'm trying to answer questions, bring people up to speed on where things are since last summer, when I think it was the last time it was really making the headlines. There are some other neighbors of mine, and I think a representative maybe from the chamber was going to be here, okay? And just trying to get a little bit more informed of where we're at this point. And I tried to bring these people up, but I had some questions on the 281 site. I know you
will gladly address that with you.
Okay, yeah, because there was going to be a meeting with the
Yes.
Department of Transportation. Okay, so can I ask what happened there?
We met with them on the 8th and went through some studies. They had people up here from Pier. They had quite a few engineers, went through different items. One of the things is the traffic count in that intersection is double what the state average is. The state average is like a 1.8. This is in the high 3s. So they have a high traffic count as far as accidents. The approach that goes into that site, the state recommends 150 feet from 281. That approach is only 120 feet. So there's going to be some resistance there. We also talked about if we move the approach back further south, the state said you could do it, but to the tune of 250 to 300,000, we'd have to put turning lanes in. So, you know, when we gather all the facts from the state, It's not real favorable there. I don't know that the state would permit it. We also looked on the north side. There's a lot of consideration when you have two left-hand turns, because if you had it on the south side of Melgard, you'd have to have a left-hand turn for anybody coming that way. Well, you also have left-hand turns coming off of 281. Left-hand turns are where most of these accidents occurred on 281 and Melgard. So then we asked about the site. Mayor Schoeneman was there. We asked about the site on the north side.
You're talking the north side of Melgard?
Right, in that same corner, using the access of where the building is for the funeral. That would be the city would have to approve that. I don't know, but after we looked at it, the elevation on the north side is 1,302 or 1,304 feet. It's the exact same elevation as what the creek is. There'd be a ton of fill that would have to go in there, so that's probably another deterrent as far as I'm concerned. I don't know that by the time we're done putting fill in and going through all that, we'd probably have as much as what we could do with where our present site is. So I guess that's what I got out of the meeting, and Dwayne was there also, so if you can add something, Dwayne, go ahead.
That pretty much sums it up. They weren't, they had several reasons why that was a bad location, you know, from primarily the high accident rates on that intersection, so.
Okay, well, we are happy to hear that. I mean, that it is not going to apparently work, because that is not, I mean, all of us that heard about it were opposed to it basically for the traffic reason and the danger and everything up there, amongst other things. So that was good that we had here from the Department of Transportation to confirm our fears. So, okay, so that would answer the questions on that. Leanne had thought that she had heard there was another property the city owned on the east side of the cemetery. Was that correct, or was
Well,
that
that's
you
probably the
referring to the one on the
property,
north?
that's probably the property, the one that was on the north side of Melgard.
Okay, not on the east, on the north.
Mayor Schoeneman said he would do a little check-in, and he'd have to clear that with the council, which I don't know. I guess we're probably not real interested in having to go into a site that we're gonna have to put a ton of fill in, and it's gonna cost, I think
And
that...
you had to do turn lanes on that one also?
No,
Oh,
you wouldn't
no.
on that one, because it'd be, the approach is far enough back.
Okay.
It's substantially further back to the east than what the other one is going to the south side. But the other side is we had an engineer there, and I think just, he calculated just roughly, you're looking at $30,000 to $40,000 worth of just fill to get that elevation up off that 1,304. You know, and they were just, there were I think 3 different engineers there, and they were very helpful. I mean, they had the Google Pro map app, and they were documenting the elevations and stuff, and they did a very thorough job. So I don't know that, you know, that's even an option. I think before, you know, be honest with you, the site that at Larson's is probably looking like probably the best option. I don't know that when that decision's ready to be made. I mean, we don't have it on the agenda, so we can't make a decision, but I think that's probably where we're leaning unless something would happen here in the next, because we got to get moving, because I think the deadline was July 1st.
Correct.
That's what we told the people.
Correct, yeah. And we are all the firm belief we need to keep our commitment to the fire department on that one.
Right.
We do not want to have to ask for an extension again. They've been very generous on this, so.
So I think there's just probably a couple follow-ups with Mr. Jacobs, and maybe just talk with Mayor Schoeneman one more time to clarify that the city doesn't have some site that they're looking at that would possibly be a benefit to us. I think those are the 2 options we have left yet, unless somebody else has something else that they would like to add, but that's kind of where I'm at with it, and that's kind of what I'm gathering from other people too.
Okay, and yeah, me also, Leanne also from the people, and we've talked to a lot of people, you know, as far as the users in the area and the neighbors and people that were at the meeting last summer and signed petitions, so we're kind of on the same wavelength there with you guys, so.
I would hope probably I would say by the first part of May, the end of April. I mean, I don't know how fast, but I would say by that time we'll have had to make a decision to make this happen by July 1st.
Okay.
And you know, the other advantage to the site at the Larson, which Jacobs owns, is probably that it wouldn't take a lot of prep just to move the dumpsters over there right now.
Okay.
And go forward. I think that's the site that would probably hold up for the time being, and then we could add the cameras. It's already got electricity. I guess maybe the fence could be 6 months, a year down the road. I mean, that's where Mike, our landfill manager, would have to come in and kind of work, and I guess that's kind of what we'll do at this point.
And do you just, would we be using the same entrance that goes into the
The
front
north
entrance?
side, we would talk about that entrance going in there, that would be widened.
Okay.
So that you'd have plenty of room to
That
access
wouldn't
in and
impede
out.
the firefighters
Right.
in there? Okay.
So that north, where the dumpster's set right now, just on the north side, that approach going through there, that would be
Okay.
widened out.
Okay.
So that you'd actually have access for both vehicles to travel both that without having problems there.
Okay. Okay. And you are still like, the landfill manager had discussed, you guys are doing like the asphalt thing eventually too, or is that what they were wanting to do there, or does?
Well, you know-
The users are more than willing to save any money possible for the taxpayers by
Well,
not having to do anything.
Maybe we could put a tip jar out there.
Leanne and I would have a bake sale, as Duane, kind of expressed last year. Sure, okay, that sounds good.
Well, I don't know, I don't think the site right now in front of the fire station, is that paved?
No,
No,
never
no,
has
no,
been.
no.
And we're not asking for that, we're
Yeah.
just happy to have a place
Exactly.
to use that is handy and accessible and near the one that everyone's used for the last 50 years. So, yeah, that's all they're asking, so anything to save the
And I guess the
taxpayers' money.
paving part and how fancy this place needs to be,
Mhm.
I guess that's something that your landfill manager and the commission would have to decide
Okay.
on. I mean, if the commission says, hey, we're getting by without pavement,
Sure,
fine, we're
Okay.
gonna do this as economical and as friendly to the taxpayers we can.
wonderful.
And I think if it works
We
the way it
agree.
is, there's no reason to pave it.
Okay, fine, sounds great.
If we're able to acquire that property, which is where I think we're headed, there's a
Okay.
building and there's some other things there that we've got to figure out how we're going to clean that up, but the parking lot
And
in
how
front of it
much,
is
how much
usable.
land are you looking for or wanting to use?
1.5 acres is what's there, 1.52, I think, exactly,
Total.
is what's there.
Okay,
But the building will have to come down, and there is some material that's inside the building that'll have to be dealt with. But, we could still use the front portion of it
okay,
on a temporary,
Sure.
anywhere from 2 months to 2 years temporary, but,
Okay.
functional.
sure. Okay,
Well, once we own the site, that determines how
What
we
to
want
do
to
with it,
improve the
sure.
site. And that's, I think that all comes into play too. Once that's all established, then we can, whether we take, maybe in 10 years we decide to pave it, maybe in 2 years. I mean, we don't know that, but I think the first step is to get the site secured and
Maybe something miraculous will happen, we won't need dump sites.
let me think about that one, how that would happen, Dennis, okay? Yeah,
Don't take too long.
yeah. Okay, so the hope is just that some negotiations can be done on that property at this point, okay, and be done hopefully by May 1st. Okay, so that is a good answer I can give to everyone that's contacting me, I appreciate that. Does anybody else that's here representing have any questions?
Just want to thank you for considering it.
Okay.
That's a good location, and I think most of us would be very pleased to have that there.
Yeah, from a practical standpoint, we can just move the dumpsters over there once we have
Yeah,
ownership
yeah.
of it, and then we can work on developing the site, cleaning that, raising that building and some of the other things there, and moving things around and making it a more permanent situation. But functionally, it can function
Sure,
pretty well right now, as is.
we don't need much.
Neat spot.
Right,
Okay.
okay, thank you very much
You
for
bet.
updating us, I
Thanks, Doc.
appreciate
You
it.
bet.
Thanks for the follow-up.
And Rachel.
Thank you
Thank
everyone
you.
for coming.
anything else to come before the commission for public comment?
Take care.
Thanks, Don.
I'll follow up on that and check and see what authority we have, so. You bet, thank you.
Erica, we have to have an exec for personnel?
Yes, please.
I would entertain a motion to go into exec for personnel.
So move. Second.
Moved by Sutton, second by Weiss to go into exec for personnel. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are out of exec, no action as a result. We had personnel and we had Ross with a couple contracts.
Matter of fact, I'm going over to talk to Dave Lunsman about it some more right now.
Move adjournment?
I would
Second.
entertain, we have a motion from Kipley, a second by Sutton to adjourn. All in favor?